If you're looking for lots of ego, you got to check out the fight between these two big East Coast cities. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Swerk. I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with a Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams. Now, if this is the first time you stumbled across our channel, welcome. Definitely subscribe, click that little bell so every time we make a new video, you're going to get notified. So what are we all about? We talk everything about Massachusetts, sometimes New Hampshire, whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking, playing, and Massachusetts versus New York City as far as cost of living. You have questions, we have answers. Reach out to us any way you feel appropriate. Phone call, email, text message, something on social media. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. Just remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. Hey everyone, so a few months ago, we took a look at the pros and cons of living in Massachusetts, or actually living in Boston versus New York. And today we want to just take a deeper dive into those two cities and just kind of give you some heads up about potential destinations you want to go to. So don't tune away from this video. There's some surprising data that we want to show you. And we're not going to make a long one on this one. We're just going to hit 4 or 5 data points and move on from there. So the first thing that we want to talk about is going to be the wages here in Boston. Average wages back in 2019 were about $71,000 per household. So that's pretty decent as far as Massachusetts is concerned. When we flip over to New York, that is actually a lot lower. Well, not a lot lower, but well, it seems like a lot lower. They're only making $64,000 a year. Same source, same timeline. So it's interesting to look at the what the wages are and what that's going to be able to support. So that's one thing you could definitely say about people living in Massachusetts. You know, we're implying that it's a little more affordable just because of the fact that we do have higher wages and we have a stronger economy. So those, you know, it's a pretty big contrast there from $71,000 a year going down to $64,000 a year. The second point we want to look at is definitely going to be the home values, right? And this was actually pretty surprising to me when I was looking here because I am not a real estate expert in New York by any means. Big disclaimer there. So, and again, as far as pulling certain areas, you know, Boston's made up of a lot of different communities. Same thing as far as New York is concerned. So this is just a broad overview. Now, here in Massachusetts, this is not a big shock to me. A single-family home has gone up about 5% over the past year. Averages about $696,000 in the Boston proper. So you want to think about that. Going over to the other side, or actually going a little south, same side because we're on the East Coast. New York values, again, $733,000. So their cost of housing is much higher. So that's something you definitely want to look at. The rent, I almost fell over when I was looking at this, pulling the research on this. 1-bedroom apartment in New York, $3,188. Now that's an average, of course, kind of a strange number to pull. That's 30% increase from last year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a 1-bedroom place. Now, I'm going to fall over when I think about Massachusetts as well because $2,600. Right, $2,600 you're paying just to live in one tiny little 1-bedroom apartment. So that's gone up 22% over the year. So it's definitely that's a tough thing for me because I'm an investor in real estate. So if anyone talks about renting, I kind of curl up because that's not the way to build wealth by paying someone else's mortgage. So if you have to be in that situation, we understand that. But I'm always going to advise you buying versus renting. And wow, $3,100. Holy moly. Did I read that right? I did. $3,188 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Oh, yeah, definitely get a second job, third job, fourth job. Wow. Okay. All right. So, so that's a little bit as far as the housing market. So definitely, without a doubt, we're winning that one. Of course, we want to win everything, but we can't do that. We can't do that. Yes, we have a giant ego because we're from Massachusetts and we think we founded America because of Plymouth and all that stuff. So anyway, so the next data point we want to look at is going to be utilities. Now, these numbers are all over the place. So we just try to take some averages and compact it as close as we can. But the average electricity bill here in Massachusetts is $135 a month, right? Go solar, buy the panels, don't rent them. Anyway, so if you, that's my little tidbit, don't rent the panels. Okay, but as far as gas is concerned, you know, we're paying about $81 as far as natural gas bills, right? Now, New York, definitely a higher price. Their electricity, $173, about $174 a month average. Their gas, about $103, right? So that's pretty expensive as far as some utilities are concerned. Now, I'm laughing because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, I wonder what the phone service is, because I'm one of those dinosaurs that actually had to pick the phone off the wall and do this thing. Yes, I'm that old. I'm that old that I remember rotary phone. Yes. So, but this whole point of the video is out the window because there's no rotary phones. I'm sure all the cell phone plans are pretty similar. So the next area we want to talk about, absolutely New York, hands down, you guys win this, you got it, transportation. So the reason why New York is definitely going to win over Boston, number one, I'm just kind of thinking from my earlier days in life where I wanted to go out and be out very late. Well, our transportation system shuts down. I think 1 o'clock is the last train or bus you can get. So it doesn't make sense, when the clubs and the bars are open till 2, and then you want to try to take public transportation because it ended an hour ago. So another thing as far as transportation is concerned is that because of the public train system and buses, the whole 9 yards, a lot of New Yorkers don't have to have a car. Right, so that as far as the upkeep and the maintenance, they're definitely saving money there. Now, I don't know what the cost of the train system is. I don't take the train here in Boston either, so I know what the averages are, but it's definitely. Sorry, I'm recording. If you can't tell, I'm recording on my cell phone. Tyler is out of action today, and I just got a text message, so I got that distracted squirrel. Like, what do I try to read here? My phone's sideways. So anyway, yeah, that's behind the scenes of making a video. Anyway, so back on track here. You know how, if you've seen the videos, you know how easy I can go off the rails. So let's stay straight here. So as far as here in Massachusetts, that's something I absolutely have to account for insurance, have to account for car payments. Any type of tolls. We don't have tons of tolls here, but we have a couple. We have just enough tolls to be aggravating, right? Nothing. Now, if I want to talk about tolls in New York, like that's a whole different ball game, because I think what is it, like $750 just to go over one of the bridges? Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So as far as transportation, without a question, it's much easier as far as New York is concerned. So just a couple of data points we want to hit there. There's so many differences between the two cities. There's drastically a big change as far as the cost of, or difference as far as cost of living is concerned. And you can definitely, let's be honest, if you're going to be in the downtown areas, of course you're going to pay a lot of money, but you can move out a little bit. Affordability is going to go down. And so we think overall that Massachusetts or Boston in general has a lower cost of, overall lower cost of living than New York City does. And again, if you don't want to deal with driving, I'll tell you, I do not ever want to drive in New York. I am one of those people that I want to say maybe I have a loose foot of the brake, and what I mean by that is, here's the crosswalk, and by the time I hit the brakes, like I am in the crosswalk. So here in Boston, I might get a couple funny looks for doing that. New York City, like they want to flip my car upside down and be like, get out of the city, you tourist. So I do not like driving in New York City. It stresses me out. I would rather crawl on dirty, nasty sidewalks than get in a car and drive around. Going back to household incomes, Boston has a higher average than New York does. And our economy is stronger. However, right, let's look at the big dreamers and getting into some of those entertainment jobs, right? You're not going to really find that here in Massachusetts. So if you're looking to be to break into the comedy sector, professional music, the Big Apple, like that's the place you want to go. That's where the dreams are made. Los Angeles has a whole nother thing. We're not talking about them today. So I think as far as income and households, Massachusetts win, but as far as opportunities to get into some of those, I'll say outset sectors, there's no right or wrong as far as what people choose to do. I would say that the concept of a struggling artist comes to my mind as I think about some of those people that are, doing things on their own. And I got to put my hat off to those, anyone in that community, because I am not that creative, and I'm just fascinated with some people. If I'm going to do some drawings, stick figures all the way, right? I love looking at people's paintings. I'm like, how did you even start to think about that concept? So I think the biggest thing that we want to talk about is that both cities have a lot to offer. Most of them are much more expensive than you would think about other East Coast cities. So you definitely, This is whether you're looking to relocate to Massachusetts, and I know we don't want to promote relocating to New York, but we're okay with that, the abundance mindset. However, you definitely, if you're in a tight budget, you definitely want to do a lot of research and really dig down to see what's going to be the best for you. We have decent transportation here as far as our commuter rail and the outskirts from the suburbs to get into Boston, but there's a lot of things to really dig into when it comes to relocating to a different city. All right, see, I came through on my promise. I didn't want to make a long video. We just want to hit some key points and some key data about the two cities here on the East Coast. Of course, I'm going to always say Boston's the winner, even if I'm looking at hardcore data, but that's just me. I'm a Boston guy. So listen, we know that you have a lot of questions about the city and the state, and all you really have to do is go ahead, feel free to reach out to us. You can text us, you can email us, call us. Send us a message on social media. We have different systems in place to get back to people quicker. We really appreciate you watching. And just remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.